All right. Welcome back to another exciting adventure of Moustachioed Reactions. I'm your host, Travis Finley. All right, so I just did this, and now I'm doing it again because my mic wasn't set to the right mic. But you wouldn't have known that. Okay, welcome to the very first movie reaction of this channel, and I hope that there's going to be more. I think that I'm just going to have to start doing it and disciplining myself to do it because I have regretted not doing this in a number of videos. I think 4 videos in the past. Pan's Labyrinth, What Dreams May Come, Dazed and Confused, and another one or so. And I usually watch them after I usually watch them at 4:20, right? So it is 4:20. And I'm watching these movies, and I'm on another level. My senses are heightened, and I'm just more aware of nuances and intricacies, and just I don't know. So for the past 4 times I've watched movies that I've never seen before. I always think at the end I should have made this a reaction. I should have made this a reaction, not because I'm great at all, at all. Is even as I'm stammering right now, but it's just the experience of it, right? And anyway, so I watch reaction videos as well, and Awkward Ashley has just done Scream, and I have never seen Scream, so I usually don't like to watch reactions if I haven't seen the movie, but I almost was going to just watch the reaction anyway because I'm like, I'm never going to watch this. And I thought, no, just do it. Just watch it. Plus, horror is not my genre. Horror is not my genre. And I actually can't remember if I've said this on the previous part that I edited out or not. So I don't like being scared in movies. I just don't like it. Like if it's tense and a thriller and things like that, I don't mind. But just the false fear of what these movies create. These movies are created to control society to a certain extent, to being afraid of mass murders and just crazy events that never happen. And so that's another reason why I don't like watching it. But I grew up watching movies in the 80s, and this is October. This is Halloween's. Shout out to Awkward Ashley, Halloween season. And so in the 80s I watched horror, and I loved being scared and all that kind of stuff. I guess it's kind of like, as a kid, I really enjoyed roller coasters, but now as an adult or as an older man, I don't like them anymore. Like I don't enjoy the way they make me feel, right? So that's kind of like this. I don't enjoy horror movies. Anyway, so I wasn't going to watch this. And then, can't remember what I was going to say. But back in the 80s, I remember hanging out with a friend of mine, and she and I stayed up late on Halloween and watched Halloweens. We watched, I don't even know how many. So we're having those jump scares and those experiences together, and she would always punch my arm or dig her nails into my arm whenever a jump scare or tense scene was coming up, and so she would react like that. And this movie is about that, right? If you haven't seen Scream, spoiler alerts, right? But this movie is on a completely different level. It's got everything that a horror movie needs to have, and at the same time there's a meta-narrative going on in the script about horror movies, and it's just brilliant. So I didn't know that that's what the twist was going to be, but I knew that there was a twist, so I was already on edge to try to pick up on certain clues as to what was going to happen, what was going on. And I actually thought that we were watching a screenplay in a writer's mind. Like he's trying to write out a good, like he wants to create. So I didn't think any of it was real, right? I thought this was all in the mind of a screenwriter, and we were going to somehow come at the end and he clicks and writes, finished the end. And so I thought that that's what was happening. I thought he was trying to create the best horror movie by improving on all of the campiness or doing things that you wouldn't expect to happen in a horror movie, right? And there are certain events in the movie where if this was a different movie, that wouldn't have happened. Like one of the things is it was great, and like if you're not paying attention, you won't notice, right? So in the first scene with Drew Barrymore, she leaves the popcorn on the stove and she walks away. So normally in movies you just forget about it. She left that on. So what happened? Wait, didn't she leave the you have this realization the next day. Wait, she left the popcorn and nothing ever happened to that. Well, in this movie it plays out. The popcorn burns and that's what happens. And then at the end of that scene, the mom then does the same thing by taking the burning popcorn off the stove and putting it in the sink and then turning the water on and then walking away. Well, the water's still running. So they did it again. Just great stuff in this movie. So anyway, a big fan of this, and just everybody did a great job. Everybody, this movie was just amazing. So without further ado, don't even remember what I've said in this intro so far. So if I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I really want to do more of these, and if you have any recommendations for first-time watches, make these recommendations. And if I haven't seen them, I'll think about putting them in the lineup. As well, if I get to the point of making a Patreon, please make sure you subscribe to that so that you can watch the full reaction. And then if you do that, you'll have to have your own copy so that you can play it and pause it or whenever I talk over it. The one thing that I thought was interesting about my reaction was whenever I've watched Brandon or James or Ashley, it seems like they talk while the movie's still going. I can't do that. So I don't know if that's a part of editing, like they put themselves over the video of the movie that's playing, because I couldn't talk to you in a reaction while the movie's still going because I'm going to miss something or whatever and I'm going to be distracted. So I paused the movie whenever I wanted to talk about something, and yada yada yada. Let's get to it. All right, so here we go. This is really loud in my ear. I don't know why that was so I don't remember that screaming at the beginning. Anyway, so here we go. So here
Hello?
it is, right?
Hello?
Yes?
Who is this?
Who are you trying to reach?
What number is this?
What number are you trying to reach?
I don't know.
Well, I think you have the wrong number.
like right now. Okay, so I'm reacting to this right now. So knowing what this is, so this is setting you up. I remember, I remember watching this and being engaged in this, right? So I don't know if it was 1996 where the cinematography had changed so much that this doesn't look like a horror movie. This doesn't look like, I don't know, maybe it does. Maybe this looks exactly like Nightmare on Elm Street did. Like if somebody's watching, I mean, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street 3 to 4 years after it came out, right? So this is like 1988. So what looked real to me then doesn't look real to me now. But this feels real, even though this is 26 years old. So the whole thing with, I don't know, like you're like, this is real. Everything that happened in this video, in this movie, is real life. Like this is a real person babysitting somewhere, and or Maybe she wasn't a baby. No, she wasn't a babysitter. That's what I was trying to figure out because it was her mom and dad that came home. But if it was her mom and dad, unless she was babysitting, I guess she could be babysitting her younger, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, because at one point in the movie, I'm like, she's the babysitter, right? I've never had an existential reaction to a movie like this because watching, you don't think that it's real. If I go into Friday night or Friday night, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, I already know that it's not real. Right now, this is treating this as if it's real. Like this is real life. I don't know how to explain it. But this doesn't feel like I'm watching a campy movie, right? I would think that the director intentionally timed this entire shot to coincide with how long it would actually take, because what they're doing right now is setting up for the tension that I had. I'm like, turn around and turn off the popcorn, right? I think I probably said that out loud. Like the popcorn's instead of me, like I'm the nerd who doesn't react to the horror and go behind you. I'm the guy that like, you didn't turn out the light. You know what I mean? Like you just totally walked away from the stove with the popcorn popping.
Halloween. You know, the one with the guy in the white mask who walked.
So, okay, look. So I was watching this and I knew that this was a horror movie. And I knew that Drew Barrymore died right away. So I remember hearing about that, but I never watched the movie. So I went in with that in mind. I knew there was a twist. I didn't know what the twist was. So even at this point, I don't know what the twist is. But subconsciously, I think I'm picking up on, like, I'm watching something about something telling me about what I'm watching. But I don't know that that's the twist. I think I just understand that that's what's going on. This is amazing. Who walks around and stalks babysitters, right? So even at this point, when she's talking about watching Halloween, and he says, "What's it about?" Some guy who walks around and stalks babysitters, right? So right now in the movie, I didn't know she was the babysitter. I didn't put that together yet.
In Halloween.
No.
Come on, it's your favorite scary movie, remember? He had a white mask, he stalked the babysitters.
No.
Come on, yes you do.
Please.
What's his name?
I can't
Steve's counting on you.
Right? So she can't think, right? This is what reality is. Like she can't think. I can't think. I can't do it. Yes, you can. And the way he's talking, ugh.
You did?
Yeah. It was edited for TV. You know, all the good stuff was cut out, and it got me thinking of us.
And then
2
this
years
music.
ago, we started off hot and heavy.
Like this
Nice,
music,
solid art.
like, okay, so like in my mind, I don't think any 80s horror movie would have had this music in it. I remember thinking about the music in this movie, and I'm going to say it right here. So the music right now is just top tier, in my opinion. It's subtle. There's another part in this movie where the music is just so subtle.
Yeah.
Like this music, just so good. I remember thinking, so right now, I had forgotten all about, what's this? Is it Ghostface? And so I started now thinking about it, like, is he going to die right now? Is he going to die right now? Like, how does this murder spree happen? Like, why does it happen? So even right now, in my reaction, to my first watching of this was, I was already anticipating if something next was going to, like, is there going to be a death right now? But this is a completely different movie. Completely different movie.
You know, I appreciate the romantic gesture.
Oh, is this The Reaper? This song is Don't Fear the Reaper. It's not Blue Oyster Cult, so I didn't recognize it.
Well, they asked me if I knew Casey. Yeah, they asked me.
Hey, they asked if you like to hunt?
this conversation that happens right here is amazing. This guy with the strawberry blonde, I don't know who he is. He is amazing.
May I ask you?
Hunt? Why would they ask you if you like to hunt?
Because their bodies were
Like,
gutted.
I would have been close to these guys' age. I'm sure that all these guys are in their early 20s. She's incredible, that redhead. Just absolutely insanely gorgeous. And a great actress. All these actors right here are amazing. All of them. Every single one of them. Amazing. But I really like the guy in the middle. What was I going to say besides that? Something else. This whole meta-narrative right now, like, this is real life. Like, this to me is like Dazed and Confused. So Dazed and Confused for me was a movie that impressed me about. I felt like the conversations were actually what conversations would be like with real people in a random, like if you put a camera in the room, which is what happened in this movie, right? So you see what kids do in a real conversation, and it's like that's what a real conversation would be like. That's this right here. It's just everything in this is amazing. So right now they're breaking the meta-narrative wall. They're talking about movie genre and stereotypes and cliches and all of that. It's amazing.
How do you gut someone?
Like right there, she's not, that's a rhetorical question, right? She's like, how do you, like, you got to be over the top, out of your mind, insane. And now he's just going to talk, he's going to answer her question. And like she asked a real question.
You take a knife and you slit him from groin to sternum. Aware that you dated the victim? Hey, what are you saying? That I killed her? It would certainly improve.
I remember in this instance here, like they're setting you up. Is he the killer? Is he the killer? Wait, they could all, like the girl, right? So she was saying it could have been one of the girls. One of the girls could have been the killer. And now they're talking about who could be the killer. All right, wait, are you saying that I could be the killer? So this whole meta narrative is going to get played out in the movie. It is absolutely brilliant.
Do you like scary movies, Sydney?
I like that thing you're doing with your voice, Randy. It's sexy.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, come on, you know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act.
So I remember, God, like I didn't know that I was watching this right now when I was watching it a couple hours ago. But I remember thinking some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl. So Drew was the babysitter, but she's not big-breasted. So already this is like not, it's the meta-narrative.
Who's always running up
Who
the
can't
stairs when
act.
she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
So they tell you all of the things. Who runs up the stairs instead of going out the front door. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do? When you get chased by the killer, what are you going to do? Are you going to run up the stairs instead of go out there? You don't know what you're going to do in those situations.
Maybe that's because I'm not Randy.
I remember that being intense. That's like a jump scare for me. That's like a jump scare.
Why would you be calling from my front
Why are you
porch?
going to look out the front door? Why don't go to the front door? Like that's what they want you to be doing in this movie right now. Music. Like you come out of nowhere. Like, here it comes. Right there. When she sweeps his leg, I was like, what? This is crazy. Like what? So I'm even acting. I remember reacting to it right now. I'm like why does this feel? Because I was feeling the tension of a movie of art, right? The screenplay is, in my opinion, very, very well written. Very well written. And then you get this camp. This was really my first like what? What am I watching? Oh no. He wasn't sitting, or she, yeah. So her legs were outside. All right, so her legs were outside. and then she gets her inside leg up. No way. So right here is a shot of, so this is the new 90s camp right here. This is the camp. But this is a real, like this, that's what the meta narrative is, right? The rest of the movie makes you feel like it's a real life movie, that this happened. And then this is too campy.
Billy!
Door's locked. I heard screaming. You all right?
The killer's here. He's in the house. No, he's in the house.
So, I'm trying to remember if I think, because he wasn't sweaty right here. Like, I remember thinking it couldn't be him because he's not out of breath and he's not like sweating. But that's what happens right now. He becomes the suspect.
No. No, I didn't. Sheriff, I didn't kill anybody.
So, like, here right now, that's a believable performance. Like, what would a killer look like? And then later on, he becomes the killer in the meta narrative. But then you don't know if he's the killer.
It's crazy. You know that. I didn't do it.
Like when he said that, when he said, "This is crazy," you know that? That kind of acting. But then right there, that cheesy, campy, like stare, like "I'm gonna kill you" stare, is he's doing it. But he's doing it in real life. But it doesn't feel campy right now.
When I wear this badge, you treat me like a man of the law.
I'm sorry, Deputy Dewey Boy, but we're ready to go
Right?
now,
So it's like
okay?
he's getting like that. Great. That was great. That David Arquette's reaction there, where he's looking around nervous because he's looking to be affirmed, and he's getting put down by his little sister, and he's like, you know, nervous and smiling at everybody in the office and whatnot. That whole interaction was just, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. This whole movie.
Don't worry, Sid. At school, you'll be safe here.
So how does it feel to be almost brutally butchered?
The film,
People want to know. They have a right to know.
was that was the girl from The Exorcist.
Oh, you mean after you branded him the Candyman? No, his heart's broken.
Stu.
Like that right there. Like after you branded him the Candyman, meta narrative on the horror genre, right? Because the Candyman is in a situation that would happen in any small town just like this, right? But that whole interaction when she punched him or pinched him or whatever, and he said "ow," I thought that was just really well done. It looked real.
You make me so sick. Your entire
This
extravagant,
scene
feeble,
blew my
whoring
mind.
generation disgusts me. Desensitized little
This.
shit that you are.
Right? So in a bad movie, I never thought that this meant that he was the killer. I never thought that. But this scene was written to fool someone who would think that he would be the killer. I didn't think he was the killer. I just thought, this is a crazy scene.
Did it. What if Sydney killed
Okay,
him?
this woman, I thought was, I don't know who she is. I couldn't tell you if I've seen her in another movie. This was a good performance.
Delusional. Where's God, etc. Completely suicidal. One day she snaps. She wants to kill herself, but she realizes that teen suicide is out this year, and homicide is a much healthier therapeutic expression.
Where do you get this shit?
Ricky Lake.
Oh, you are pathetic.
Oh, it was a great performance.
Doesn't invite the entire world. We're fine. Intimate gathering, intimate friends.
What do you say, Sid? I mean, pathos could have its perks.
Totally protect you. Yo, I am so buff. I got you covered, girl.
Wait, come on, Sid. For me, it could be fun. Okay, whatever.
So that whole shot right there, that whole one take right there was amazing, I thought. The way that she just did a little dip, that was just, I thought, so well done. That's why this meta-narrative movie is on another level, because they're doing, this is a great movie. This is a great movie.
like again, he's over. Like, look, this is. But see, he's in terror. Like, this is crazy in terror. So for me, I remember thinking that this was exactly the way I would have responded. This is what a man screaming sounds like, right? This was, excuse me, an amazing performance. Amazing. It wasn't over the top. But in the 80s, it would have been, right?
Because obviously they don't watch enough movies. This is standard horror movie stuff. Prom Night Revisited,
Right,
man.
right here. This is where the very first narrative comes in. Right here, I believe. At this point, they've now gone. They've put all their chips in. They've gone all in. Right now, they're telling you that this whole movie is about the campy 80s movies. That was great.
No, I don't at all.
I love that.
No.
That shot right there, that whole interaction right there was incredible.
Your one microscopic cog in his catastrophic plan, designed and directed by his red right hand.
Sure is quiet.
Great song. Like, this music in the background is just great. Hello. So, like, that had no purpose. That had no purpose. Like, you can't get out. You have to have a key to get out now. Right? There was no... You couldn't turn the lock. You had to have a key. Like, this whole thing right here is campy. Oh, man, this is such a fuck... This movie is amazing. Do this, now do this, don't do this. And then right here is great. She's supposed to land on a fence. Impale. No. Great. That was great. Loved it. Loved that. Because they broke the tradition. She survived the fall, didn't get impaled. It was now, here, in this scene, the blood on his shirt is totally wrong, right? And that looks so fake. That's one of the other, like right there, that's so bad compared to what happens before and after this. Like, he got stabbed like 3 or 4 times.
Nobody's out there.
No, give me the gun. Give me the gun. It's okay. It's okay.
So what we don't know right now is that later on he's going to go through the whole rigmarole of being the killer and breaking down the narrative of that. And then he stabs himself in that narrative. But see, so right now there's going to be this transition where this guy should not be up. He just got stabbed 4 times in the chest and torso, right? He should not be up. And then within a couple of minutes, he's going to be giving a monologue as the bad guy and not be dead from his wounds. Now here's the line. Here's the thing where you're like, don't make that noise, right? I remember watching this and understanding that they're making fun of a movie that you're watching where it sounds like she's trying to get out. You know, she's trying to get out. And you're like, stop making noise. He's going to hear you. This is that event. But this is even a meta-narrative because she's not trying to get out in the closet. That noise is happening on the television. This is so good. Here comes the music. So, like, you're watching this, and then you're being led into the end of the movie. All right. But this is like...
Okay, I think it's gonna go somewhere else.
And that wraps up the reaction to Scream. thank you so much for watching. If you have watched this all the way through, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this reaction. And yeah. So the editing on this wasn't as great as it could be, so hopefully I'll get better at that and trying to figure out how to navigate my way through these reactions and editing and volume and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much. I have been your host, Travis Finley. This has been Moustachioed Reactions. Until next time.